welcome back to my channel. This is Ilona, and we are looking at the energy reading for this week of January the 14th. So we've got some interesting things happening as always, and the first card that we have for the main energy for this week is the Four of Swords, and this is a card about contemplation, about meditation, about going within. But it also is an energy of receiving. And, you know, we had that really big masculine energy of action last week. And so it's not surprising that in this week we would see the need to just sort of step back and allow the receiving, you know, stepping back to stay balanced. We want to get back into a little bit of our feminine energy, the energy of reception. The yin energy. So instead of, you know, efforting and working and tiring ourselves out, you know, this is really Spirit's way to say, okay, last week you made this big push for all of this effort, and now this week let's let things happen. Let's get into it, because there's the balance of giving and receiving. And so this week, to stay in balance, it's about really contemplating, you know, what did you do last week that really worked? Contemplate that for this week so that we can take the next steps that are coming. The lesson for this week, we got actually two cards. We got the Six of Wands, you know, victory and success, and we also got the Ace of Cups, which is love begins. So what I like about this is that, you know, the lesson is, you know, we made this great effort. We sort of took charge. You know, we saw perhaps, or are starting to see and manifest some results, some success, some recognition for the efforts that we made. But here we are balancing it out with some self-care, because the Ace of Cups is always about self-love. It's about filling your cup. You know, it's new beginnings in love, and you can't see love outside without first recognizing it on the inside. And so, you know, all of our efforts last week are going to bring us some recognition and some success. And, you know, we want to make sure we fill our cup, we stay in that space of love while we're receiving the recognition and while we're watching the rewards come in. So that's the lesson for this week, is, you know, really stay in that space of self-love. So the obstacle we might encounter, we got this week, we got the Star card, which is hope. And, you know, it's really interesting because as physical beings, we tend to look for evidence of our manifestations right in front of us in the physical world. And sometimes when things are not happening as quickly, or we're in that place of receiving, we might tend to lose our faith or lose our hope because we're not seeing the physical evidence. And so the challenge, the obstacle for this week is going to be in staying in that receptive mode and trusting in the knowing of the manifestation is still coming. And that, you know, I mean, that really requires true balance to be able to operate in that masculine energy one week and then moving into that receptive mode, into that contemplation, into that knowing space for the next week. That really is, you know, a practice in true balance. And so that is going to be the obstacle. Just stay in faith and stay in hope this week. Because if you're not seeing the evidence of your manifestation right away, know that it's coming. And how we'll benefit from this is we got the Nine of Swords, okay? The Nine of Swords is the fear and anxiety card. So if we can practice this balance of, you know, making the effort, doing the inspired action, and then really taking the time out to rest and contemplate, it gives us this balance where we can then move beyond and release the fear and anxiety. And that's how it's going to benefit us. When you achieve this type of balance, when you get to the place where you can practice the masculine and feminine energies together, and always, you know, staying in faith, refilling your cup, it will help you to release the fear and anxiety that comes along with not seeing the physical manifestation happen immediately. So I next asked, what needs to be healed and released. And the first card that came out was the sexuality card. And I asked Spirit to give me some more information. And so then we got the self-love card. And the sexuality card is all about releasing shame and guilt. It's about your sacral chakra, which is where we hold guilt if we're out of balance, where we might hold some guilt energy. And it's about really loving your body. And so what I feel like is that, we do have two messages here. So for some of you, this is really going to be about releasing really negative feelings and thoughts about your body and stepping into your feminine sexuality, power, or masculine if you're a masculine, and, embracing what you look like, embracing your body, and finding a way to be sexual or intimate with your partner, because there's a lot of blockages in the sacral chakra in the collective right now around sexuality, and we're feeling really down on ourselves. And so the clarifier that came out with this one is energy, and notice how you've got both of this orange sacral energy going on. So this is really about releasing any guilt that you're feeling, especially around body image. We're all very mindful about that right now because we've got the New Year's resolutions and everybody's back in the gym. And there might be a little tendency to sort of be beating up on yourself right now about your body image. So they're wanting you to release that and move more into self-love and treating yourself with love and kindness. And notice again, here we are with this image that is very similar in the synchronicities, in the colors and the flow of these two images. And so I love it when these kinds of things happen. So that is what needs to be released, learning that self-love, falling in love with yourself, treating yourself gently, and knowing that you're already perfect and magnificent as you are, and just practicing that emotion and that affirmation this week. The message that we got from the universe says dream talk. So to me, this is about, in this particular reading, this is about visiting your subconscious. This is, the universe is saying, look, we are all operating through our subconscious mind. Our physical bodies behave based on what's stored in the subconscious mind. And we've got to sort of go and say, okay, whatever was put there, we have a decision as to whether we want it to stay there. And it's almost like clearing out your subconscious mind is almost like returning to birth, returning to that pure form, because our natural state is love and light. It is not natural for us to be feeling guilt or shame or lack of self-love, to be treating ourselves harshly. That is not our natural state. And so the universe, spirit, is really asking us to spend some time really visiting, what are your beliefs? What are the things that you say about yourself? And were you born with those? And if not, it's time to release those. It's time to release the shame, to heal the guilt, okay? And to go back to that natural state of pure love. Remember this natural state of filling your cup of self-love. So we've got lots of self-love messages. And then what can we expect to come? 2 cards fell out. And it's not surprising. One fell out, turned over, and one was upside down. And look what we got. Let go of guilt. Okay, and that came with the card release. So here we are. So what's to come moving forward, if we can let go of this guilt, if we can release those false beliefs that we should for some reason feel guilty about how we look or what we've done or how we got here, then we will experience sort of this inner peace, this quiet retreat. And so again, we've got 2 energies matching each other, rest and rejuvenate, which is the main energy for this week. But this is where we want to have this freedom to express ourselves without this guilt. Okay? We want to be able to quiet our mind. get rid of the guilt, get rid of the chatter, and to then freely express ourselves in a way that's going to be beneficial for the highest good and for the love on the planet. So this is beautiful energy of what's coming, especially if we take the time this week to do this work, to do work on your sacral chakra. So if I can help you with that, or if you'd like a reading of your own, you've got the way to contact me is in the details below. And I send you guys so much healing, love, and light, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.